Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. These Chicago PD characters will be missing during the crossover, here's why. There is a lot of ground to cover in the One Chicago crossover. Not only will the show have to thread a single story through the various areas of expertise of each show's group, but it will make to figure out ways to keep every major cast member in each show involved. Naturally, some of the characters who appear on the individual shows will be pushed to the side to allow for more of a focus on the veterans. There are 2 Chicago PD characters who have played a vital role in Season 12, but are confirmed to be absent during the One Chicago crossover. They are Chief Deputy Reed, Sean Hatosy, and Ada Nina Chapman, Sarah Buse. Chapman has made a huge impression viewers and on Hank Voit, Jason Begg, this season. She told the veteran officer that she had romantic feelings for him, then left the city for work. There's an intrigue behind her return, and what it will mean for Voit moving forward, but it's a return that will not happen until episode 15. She's coming back in episode 15, PD showrunner Gwen Sagan told Screen Rant, and then she'll be with us for a lot of the back half of the season, and we sort of pick right back up where we left off with her and Voit and see how that time apart has kind of morphed them. The other character who has been pushed off until after the One Chicago crossover is Reed. He has positioned himself as the de facto villain of Season 12, and he will continue to play a huge role in the show moving forward. He will be sidelined, however, for the entirety of the crossover event. Sagan confirmed this during an exclusive interview with One Chicago Center. He does not appear in the crossover, but will be back with him very, very quickly after the crossover, she explained. The PD showrunner also spoke on the importance of giving screen time to burgeoning PD centerpieces like Kiana Cook, Toya Turner, or Dan Torres, Benjamin Levy Avilar. Neither character was around for the previous crossovers, but are positioned to play huge roles in the PD series moving forward. Hence, the importance of fitting them in. That all is sort of a jigsaw, Sagan explained. And it naturally, I would say sort of, it kind of balanced out as it was being broken. The PD showrunner also commended the writers for making it seem natural. They found a really nice way to make sure that like certain characters, like the pairings, were something we haven't seen before. The upcoming One Chicago crossover promises to be a high-stakes event, filled with shocking twists and edge-of-your-seat drama. But while Chicago PD fans are excited to see their favorite intelligence officers in action, a few key characters will be notably absent from the crossover. Whether due to personal reasons, undercover missions, or unexpected circumstances, here's why these Chicago PD characters won't be involved in the explosive storyline. 1. Hank Voit, pulled into an off-the-books investigation. When something major happens in Chicago, you can always count on Voit to be in the middle of it. However, this time around, the intelligence unit's leader finds himself occupied with an entirely different crisis. Sources inside the department reveal that Voit is quietly running an off-the-books investigation tied to an old case. When a former informant resurfaces with a cryptic message about a powerful crime syndicate operating just outside of CPD's jurisdiction, Voit can't ignore it. Instead of risking exposure, he goes dark, relying on a select few to help him gather intel without tipping off the wrong people. As a result, he's forced to sit out of the crossover, but knowing Voit, he'll likely emerge with major information that could shift the entire intelligence unit's approach in the future. 2. Jay Halstead, still in Bolivia, but something feels off. Fans have been hoping for an update on Jay Halstead's time in Bolivia, where he's been working with an elite task force. While his absence has left Haley Upton struggling to move forward, the crossover won't provide the reunion that many were hoping for. At first, his absence seems like standard protocol, his assignment is classified, and he's still embedded in dangerous cartel territory. However, a vague message sent to Upton hints that something is wrong. She initially brushes it off as paranoia, but when she receives a second cryptic message with coordinates pointing to an unfamiliar location, it raises serious concerns. Could Halstead be in more danger than anyone realized? His absence in the crossover might just be setting up a dramatic return down the line. 3. Haley Upton, following a lead that can't wait. With Voit busy and Halstead still out of the picture, Upton is expected to play a major role in the crossover. However, just as the joint operation gets underway, she receives shocking information that changes everything. A woman comes into the district, claiming she has new intel on an unsolved case that's haunted Upton for years. The lead is so compelling that Upton makes the difficult choice to step away from the joint operation to follow up. Given her relentless drive for justice, it's no surprise she takes matters into her own hands. But as she digs deeper, she realizes the case is far more connected to her own past than she ever anticipated. 4. Adam Ruzek. Recovering from his most dangerous mission yet. Ruzek has spent the better part of the season recovering from his dangerous deep cover mission. Though he's back in the unit, physically and mentally he's not at 100%, and the crossover's high-intensity nature is something he's just not ready for yet. While he insists he can handle it, Burgess and Voit convince him to sit this one out. Burgess in particular reminds him that his health has to come first. But just because he's benched doesn't mean he won't be watching from the sidelines, especially when an unexpected turn of events forces him to reconsider whether he should have stayed out of the action at all. 5. Kim Burgess. Torn between duty and family. Burgess has been balancing her job and motherhood with Michaela, and while she's often able to juggle both, the timing of the crossover couldn't be worse. When Michaela suddenly falls ill, Burgess makes the difficult decision to stay by her side instead of joining the high-profile operation. It's a gut-wrenching choice, but one she doesn't regret. However, as the situation with intelligence escalates, she struggles with not being in the field. She keeps a close eye on the operation from home, but a last-minute emergency call might still pull her into the action, just in a way no one expects. 6. Kevin Atwater. Sent to work with a federal task force. Atwater's absence from the crossover isn't due to any personal conflicts. He's simply been reassigned to a federal task force for a case involving interstate crime. His unique expertise and strong investigative skills make him the perfect candidate to help with a high-level operation, even if it means missing out on the one Chicago crossover. Though he's technically in a different jurisdiction, Atwater remains in contact with intelligence, and when he realizes that his case might be connected to what's happening in Chicago, he faces a tough decision: follow orders or find a way to help his team without jeopardizing his new assignment. 7. Trudy Plat. Holding down the fort. With most of intelligence wrapped up in the crossover chaos, someone has to stay behind and keep the 21st District running. That responsibility, as always, falls on Trudy Plat. While she may not be in the thick of the action, don't count her out. Plat always has a way of making sure she's in the know, and when she catches wind of something unusual happening back at the precinct, she might just uncover a piece of the puzzle that everyone else missed. Final thoughts. While it's disappointing that some Chicago PD favorites won't be part of the One Chicago crossover, their absences serve a greater purpose in the grand scheme of the show's storylines. Each missing character has a compelling reason for sitting this one out, and their individual journeys could lead to even more dramatic developments in the episodes to come. One thing's for sure, when these characters do return, they'll have plenty of unfinished business to take care of.